Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Hey on Outside the Box Reviews. I want to do a quick review on the NECA Toony Terrors Wave 4. Now, this is not the complete wave because I'm missing the Beetlejuice figure. I could not find him today, but you know what? I just wanted to talk about these three because these are the three I'm really interested in picking up. I'm not a completist on this line at all. I actually only have two others. I have Michael Myers and I have Pinhead. And I've kind of been debating some of the other ones, but these were characters I really wanted to add to my collection, so I made sure I snagged him. Interestingly enough, both Victor Crowley here in the middle and then Regan here on the right, I found at a local comic shop after hitting several targets looking for other things, because, you know, NECA distribution is what it is, and realizing NECA only seems to be shipping Sam to Targets for this wave. I don't know if that's really the case, if we're going to see the other figures in the wave pop up. That's kind of thinking like, well, maybe, you know, because Victor has some blood on him and Regan has some vomit. Maybe for some reason Target really didn't want that, even though they have a lot of other horror figures from NECA. And that's why we were just getting Sam. But Beetlejuice, I mean, you know, it doesn't really seem like a movie that you would exclude merchandise from a store like that. So I'm thinking something goofy's going on. But yeah, I've seen not just myself, but other people as well, only finding Sam at Target from this line, and it's kind of weird to me. But yeah, so I'm going to take these, we'll look at them each individually. I'm going to try to keep this quick, because they are pretty simple figures anyway. But let's just jump into it. Let me move these guys off to the side here. And we will take a look at Regan. I think they did a really good job here with her head. They got some great detail. I love the kind of dead eyes on there, the scratches, the weird teeth. I think they just did a great job in this cartoony Scooby-Doo style of capturing Regan. She has her hair kind of pulling around the front there and then more down the back. Now this is a little pliable, but it does still hinder articulation. You really can't get her head to go very far in any direction. It'll move a little up, a little down, a little side to side, but it's pretty limited because of that strand there in the front. We do also have an interchangeable head. Her head's pretty hard to pop off the first couple times, but it will pop off, and then you can completely misplace her other head. There we go. And this is a pain in the butt to get on. There we go. So, different sculpt with her mouth open. The green vomit you can unpeg from her mouth. It comes separately, but I had a hard time getting it in there to start with, so I kind of don't want to mess with it too much. But she has her big Nickelodeon green vomit coming out there. And I think this is how I'm going to display her. I like this look. This is a little different. You have the hair going right down the front and down the back, so I think it's going to limit our articulation even further. Actually, you know what? No, because it's not curved, so she actually gets a little more side-to-side motion there. And you can go decently up and decently down with it, which kind of plays into the next part. We see she goes down. We have the green goo going down the front of her nightgown. And her hands are in this weird pose where she's like almost gripping something or holding herself up on the heels of her hand. Now, the arms aren't super articulated. You can only really rotate them forward and back. So I don't know if she's supposed to be like holding herself up and puking or something. It's kind of a weird pose. But, yeah, I think for the most part, I'm just going to have the figure standing up, so it's just going to have that weird look to it. And then the wrists are articulated. They will swivel forward and back, so you get a little extra movement there. And then down here at the bottom, we have her bare feet, and those will actually swivel as well. But if you want her to stand, I think they kind of have to be in a certain position where she balances. She does have peg holes, though, so I guess you can also put her on a stand. Not much going on there on the back of her. But that's more or less what we got for Regan there. Next, we will get Sam out here. So we got his little pumpkin burlap sack thing going on. Once again, cartoon style, which actually works really well with Sam because he was initially a cartoon character. So I think this works. He's not really, you know, straight up Season's Greetings looking Sam, but still cool. We could, of course, swap this head out. This one pops off a lot easier. I have not yet popped this head on, though, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, it wasn't so bad. It was not nearly as bad as Regan. But yeah, we do get his unmasked head there. Once again, that cartoony style. I think they did a decent job. Not a lot of different colors and definitely no shading going on here, but it looks okay. His right arm is permanently bent, we can, of course, I guess I showed with the head, it's on a ball joint, so you could rotate all around. His shoulders are hinges as well, or swivels, so you can move them up and down. And then we can, I believe, rotate. Yeah, we can rotate at the wrist there. So a removable accessory is his little lollipop there. So you can pop that out. But Sam, his accessories, because of the way he's posed, he looks weird without them. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. And then his other hand, you can remove this little bag. It's kind of a soft rubber for his bag. But once again, he just has this random gripping hand if you don't have the bag in it. So I'm going to leave it like that. Once again, this wrist I think will rotate, but mine is kind of stuck, so I'm just going to leave it alone. We got the patch there on his chest, another one down above his leg. We have the different colored toes there on his little footy pajamas. Flipping around to the back, we have part of his ass flap hanging open. It's kind of an odd choice there, but not a lot more detail. And we do get peg holes at the bottom, but no foot articulation on Sam. And then, last but not least, I'm going to have to zoom out for this guy a little bit. We got Victor Crowley. I have waited so long to have official Victor Crowley action figures. We do have another one. I forget if I said this earlier or not, but we do have another one coming later from NECA in their retro style. But I had to pick up Victor Crowley for sure. They did a pretty decent job on his head. He's got his big hatchet scar going across. He's got his hair lip and his messed up teeth. One eye is kind of dead and the other is still in there. All kinds of weird lumps and stuff going on. We have his long, scraggly hair. This, of course, also is rubberized. I do kind of hope, maybe, I know this is more iconic for Victor, but maybe we'll get a bald, burnt version down the line from that scene in the first movie and give him the gas-powered sander or whatever. But we do get a decent range of motion there. He will look pretty far up, a little bit down, a little swivel side to side, as well as tilt side to side. Then we have his jeans or his overalls with the impression of blood, but really they're just dark blue sections. They're not, kind of stains more than they are like bloody bits. We have his muscular torso behind there with a bunch of little like lumps and tumors and stuff all over him, which just works for the character. They did a good job with his skin tone. He's got the ripped back of the overalls with his spine sticking out, little pockets back there, more muscles and tumors and stuff. And then we have his hatchet. Also a removable piece. You could, take it out of his hand, but he looks goofy without it. You could slide it further into his hand if you want. This figure is, in general, I kind of want to get a second one of and just bloody him the hell up, because there's definitely not nearly enough blood on this guy to be Victor Crowley. But overall, I think he's decent. We have a swivel there at either shoulder, but only his right hand has wrist articulation. The left one is stuck. And unfortunately, like most other poses with his arm, because of the way that elbow is permanently bent, it looks really awkward. So, I guess maybe you could do like that and, line his head up so he looks like maybe he's about to like chuck the hatchet or something. But there's not a lot of poses you could get him in that look natural. And then he's got his super skinny Kane Hodder legs down there. We got his work boots there at the bottom. These also are not articulated, and we do have peg holes down there too. And kind of a weird like square peg at the bottom. I don't know if that's supposed to be for something, or if it's just like detail on the foot and then they added the peg in there. Not really sure what's going on with that. But yeah, that's more or less what we got for Victor. And we'll bring these guys all back in. And yeah, so this is an interesting little set. Like I said, I'm not super interested in Beetlejuice, but he is what's missing from my little lineup here. But really, I just wanted Victor Crowley. Let me be honest. Like, Sam is a collecting focus of mine, but I have a lot of Sam stuff now because he's been merchandised to hell in the last couple of years. So it's not as special getting a Sam figure or item or whatever anymore. Regan, I don't have, any Regan action figures. It's not the first one to be made by far, but I think it's right now the only Exorcist-themed figure that I own. And, so I thought it would be a cool addition. This is, I guess, in a dumb way, like another thing that NECA's doing, like the retro line, where they're kind of sneaking in some lesser-known horror characters. So, not that Regan's lesser known. That's definitely the wrong way to talk about her, but, like, stuff that wouldn't make a good action figure in most situations. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping maybe this means that we'll get a Regan retro style, because the other two in this line do have it. But I guess we will find out. But yeah, Victor Crowley's the highlight of this for me, both in anticipation and what you actually get. And especially in this line where you're getting two teeny tiny little figures. Granted, they come with more than Victor does. You know, Victor feels like he's a little more worth his price just because he is big and bulky and crazy. But yeah, really, it just whets my appetite for that retro style figure. I want a more realistic looking Victor to put on my shelf, and I'm chomping at the bit for that one now. I really want it. But yeah, I am curious to see what else they add here. I definitely don't need everything in this wave, but thinking about some of the other stuff they've done, I kind of think we can maybe have some fun with stuff like They Live or My Bloody Valentine, or, you know, even some other slashers, like throwing a Madman or something in here. It'd be kind of fun. But I really don't know how much NECA's banking on these things selling. These seem to be peg warmers, so I'm kind of surprised they keep cranking them out, but I guess we'll see how long this line lasts. I know there is at least one more wave already in the works, but yeah, I just don't know with these. These are kind of an oddball for me. But anyway, I would recommend these three at least. I think they're cool enough. And if you could pick them up inexpensive, the better. I think these guys were like $15 a piece, which is kind of pushing it, but yeah, that's just my opinion on that one. But yeah, so let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of these. Are you guys finding any of these in Target besides Sam? Is it just me? I know it's not just me, but you know, yeah, let me know. But yeah, I will talk to you guys next time. Later.